Okay, in today's video, what we're going to talk about is robotics and artificial intelligence. Here's what I need you to understand. They're trying to replace you. Let me say it again. They, the infamous they, are trying to replace you. Let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Career Strategies. My name is Rodney Hughes, Mr. 100%. The purpose of my channel is to teach you strategies that can help you advance your career. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you won't miss out on any of this extremely valuable content. So again, what we're talking about in today's video is artificial intelligence, okay? Robotics and artificial intelligence, okay? These are two sizzling topics right here, right now, today, okay? But more importantly, what I want you to understand is that they, the infamous they, are trying to replace you. Don't get it twisted, okay? Don't fool yourself, right? Don't do like DJ Khaled says. Don't be like, congratulations, you played yourself. Okay? Because it's happening. It's happening before our very eyes. Okay? So here's the thing. With technology, there's a lot of great things that can happen. Okay? With technology, there are a lot of advancements that can be made. With technology, there's a lot of risks that can actually be eliminated. And there are many different things that just in general can be accomplished with robotics and with AI, okay? But I just don't feel like people in general are paying attention to what's going on out in the marketplace as we speak. You know, I was talking to a good friend of mine recently. I happen to have several friends of mine who are pretty deep in the information technology space. And speaking with them makes you just a little bit nervous. It makes you just a little bit uneasy. And the reason why is because they give you insight, or at least they're giving me insight as to some of the interesting things that can already be done today. Okay. And, you know, when I look around, one of the things that, you know, here's the thing I always tell people, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Okay. And by no means would I consider myself a robotics or artificial intelligence expert. Okay. What I can tell you is that as an executive recruiter, I have recruited for top tier companies, you know, Fortune 500 companies that needed help identifying extremely skilled candidates that have a strong background in artificial intelligence. Okay, I've already worked on a couple of different roles like that at a very high level. These weren't low level roles; these were really high level roles. Okay. And so I have a little bit of understanding, I'll put it that way, in a very small amount of understanding. But the thing is that I always tell people, I might not be the smartest guy in the room, okay? But one thing I'm really good at is just paying attention. That's it, right? And I take a very simplistic approach to when I'm looking at the marketplace. And as I look at the marketplace today, I'm seeing more and more things that are developing that make me say, perhaps some people should be worried. So for instance, let me give you some clear examples here, okay? The first thing that I started to notice, I don't know what part of the country you're in or what part of the world you're in when you're listening to this video, but one thing that was worrisome to me from just a robotics perspective, okay, or let's say from an automation perspective, was when I look at the trend that is starting to take place in some of your big box stores like Kroger, like Walmart, right? And you notice how, if you're paying attention, they are slowly but surely starting to push employees out the door and starting to rely more heavily upon technology. Okay. The self-checkouts, I can remember just 3-4 years ago that the self-checkout, it would be like maybe 1 or 2 machines in each store. Like, it wasn't a lot, right? Now, when I look at Kroger, especially Kroger, I mean, it's amazing to me, just because I shop at Kroger so often. It's amazing. It's amazing to me just to watch how they have grown from a technology perspective, and just some of the things that they're doing. And the same thing I could say about Walmart. When I go in Walmart now, for instance, just as an example, when me or my wife order something online, a lot of times when we go in, instead of dealing directly with customer service, there's like this big computer thing, okay, that we have to go to, and then we punch in our confirmation code or whatever, and then someone comes and just brings us our stuff, and we're able to walk out the door. This is happening right now. Okay, there used to be somebody in customer service that had that job, right? And you would have to stand in line, and then sometimes, unfortunately, some of the people would have attitudes, and you had to deal with all that. Now, okay, they have a piece of technology that is taking care of that. Okay, and then also with Walmart, with the self-checkout lines. I mean, they're big on it now. At least at the Walmart that I go to, I think there's like, probably, no exaggeration, probably about 20 different self-checkout terminals in the store. Like 10 on one end of the store and 10 on the other end of the store. Right now, this is happening right now. And that area used to be filled with cash registers where people who were getting paid to work that job had that job. And now they are starting to be replaced. Let me give you another example. Okay, Google. Okay, please pay attention to Google, because Google is doing some really interesting things regarding artificial intelligence. Okay, but one of the most recent things that I saw that they are doing, or that they have done, let's put it that way, is a platform called Google Assistant. Okay, and for me personally, as a sales professional, okay, it's really worrisome. Okay, well, it's not as worrisome for me as an executive recruiter, but for the average sales professional, you should be very worried. Inside sales professional, you should be very worried about this Google Assistant platform. I remember watching the CEO. He was at some event or some live event where he was speaking, and he was demonstrating what this Google Assistant technology could do. And essentially, they program natural linguistic, natural language type technology into whatever this program was, and it made this program be able to actually place outgoing calls and schedule meetings with different real people at real companies. And I mean, they even put in, some of the verbal cues, like throwing in uhs and all that stuff, so it doesn't sound like it was coming from a piece of technology, or a robot or whatever. Okay, and it amazed me how good and how realistic this technology sounded on a real call. Okay, and like I said, it should be worrisome to people. And the reason I'm doing this, and the reason I'm doing this video, and the reason why I'm saying they're trying to replace you. okay, is because I don't feel like people are really paying attention to this shit that's going on out here. Okay, it's a lot of amazing stuff like they're, you know, the trucking industry. I mean, we've been hearing a little bit here and there, but they've already had a truck drive by itself over 100 miles. Okay, successfully. This has already happened. Okay, and so what I want you to be cognizant of is that the world is changing. Okay, that's my point here. They are trying to replace you. And I know it may seem like, oh, this is way out in the distance, right? It just doesn't seem like it's that close to being all, we don't have to worry about this, right? So, like, first off, I would expect that people would be freaking the hell out seeing some of the stuff that's out here and some of the things that companies are doing, right? But people don't seem to be very bothered by it. It's actually pretty interesting. Okay? But what I need you to do, what I want you to do is I want you to start being aware. I just want you to be, that's the purpose of this. I want you to be aware that they're trying to replace your ass. Because they are. I promise you they are. Okay? And who is they? Right? Because you hear people say stuff like that a lot. They is, let's say they are business owners. Okay? Because see, what you got to always remember is that the purpose of any and every business, okay, with the exception of the federal government, because they can just appropriate funds, okay, whenever they want. But the purpose of every business, whether it's a for-profit business or a non-profit business, is to generate a profit. Okay, that's it. That's the whole purpose, right? They provide a product, service, or solution in exchange for cash, okay, for money, so that they can generate a profit. The goal is to have more coming in than is going out, okay? Generate a profit, okay? And the reason why it's important for you to understand that is because it will help you better understand why you should be paying attention to what's going on out here. Okay? Because again, their goal is to make money. And when you start paying attention to how effective a lot of this technology is out here, you'll come to realize, like, you know, a lot of this technology is like 1,000,000 times better than even the smartest guy in the room. Okay? I mean, it's like absolutely amazing some of the technology that is already in existence right now. Okay? And so I don't want this to be just a doom and gloom type of thing, okay? But I do want you to be aware that they're trying to replace you, and I don't want you to think that it's way off and like it can never happen, because it can happen, okay? You can be in a situation where you have a job now and your job can be obsolete, right? It could be, you know, it could be deemed that, hey, we don't need you anymore, okay? And just to prove this to you, I can remember, I'm a millennial, okay? But I vividly remember a time when very few people had cell phones, okay? Matter of fact, I can remember a time where the only people that I really knew that had a cell phone were people who were papered up, people who had a lot of money, okay? I can vividly remember this time frame, okay? Nowadays, everybody and their mama got a cell phone, okay? There are little kids with cell phones, right? Everybody can afford to have a cell phone. And this happened in my lifetime. And I'm not that old. I'm in my 30s. This happened in my lifetime, okay? Cell phones advanced to a point to where it became affordable for the masses. See, right now, when I look out in the world and I look at the things that Elon Musk is doing, when I look at the things that Google's doing, when I look at the things that IBM is doing, and that you know, Apple's doing, and I just look at all the different technological advancements that are taking place in the marketplace, right? Right now, the only people who can take advantage of those those products and services are major big companies that are cash flush. But one day, just like the cell phone, they will figure out a way to make it affordable for the average business owner. Okay? And when they do that, I promise you, there are going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be lost. Okay? Now, it's not completely doom and gloom though. Okay? I believe that although certain jobs will be lost, other types of jobs will come into fruition. Okay? And so I want to share with you a few things I want you to keep in mind so that you can be best prepared for when that transition takes place. All right? I'm going to share with you 4 things. Number 1, you need to be looking into the future. Okay? If you want to be best prepared for what's going on with robotics and artificial intelligence, I need you to stop being distracted by all this bullshit that's taking place right here, right now in this moment. Okay? Stop being so focused on entertainment, on Facebook and on movies and all this stuff. Listen, it's okay to do those things, but I need you to set aside some time, okay? Even if it's just one day a week, one evening a week. And I just want you to start looking out there for what's actually taking place in the marketplace. You need to be paying attention to where different industry, you don't have to be well versed on where every industry is going, but at least the industry that you're in or the industry that you hope to be in the future, you need to be looking and trying to figure out where is that industry going? What are the pieces of technology that can be developed that could potentially disrupt that industry? Okay, you need to be aware of this. You need to be seeking out that information. Okay, number 2 is I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. Okay, you got to be brutally honest with yourself. And what I mean when I say that is that you need to look at your background and you need to ask yourself, do I have a background that lends itself well for where we're going in the future? See, once you start identifying some of the potential challenges in the future, some of the potential growth opportunities in the future, you got to look at yourself and you got to ask yourself, are you positioned, right, in order to be able to take advantage of some of the opportunities coming up in the future? Then the third thing is once you know what's going on out there, once you're paying attention and once you've been brutally honest with yourself, if there are skills that you need to improve upon, then you need to get busy on improving on it. Okay? Because sometimes developing skills appropriately takes a little bit of time. Okay? Sometimes developing your skills could take you 10 years or 15 years, right? So what you got to do is once you've looked into the future and then you've been brutally honest with yourself and you determine that you have some gaps in your background from a skill perspective, that where you need to improve these areas because these skill sets are going to serve you well 5, 10, 15 years from now, then you need to get busy on developing those skills right now. Okay? Right now. You don't need to wait until this technology continues to advance. Once you're aware of it, you need to start trying to figure out how you can get busy on developing those skills immediately. Okay? And then the fourth thing that I need you to improve upon, or that I need you to focus on, is improving your soft skills. Okay? As an executive recruiter, I actually told a candidate this today. I'm in the field that I recruit in, I deal with some brilliant people. I mean, some absolutely brilliant people. And a lot of times, because of how hard it is to get like a PhD or a master's degree or some of the various certifications that may be out here, when I come across people who have that technical prowess, and have that experience, sometimes they think that in and of itself is enough to get them by. And the truth of the matter is that, in some ways, that is enough to just get them by if that's all you're interested in doing is getting by. But the higher you want to go up the food chain, at least currently, the higher you want to go up the food chain, the more competitive things get. And I had to tell this candidate today that, look, any candidate that my client even interviews at this level, everyone has an impressive background. They won't even talk to somebody unless they have an impressive background. So you're not the only candidate out there, and you need to understand that, let's say that they have 4 or 5 different other candidates that they're actively considering right here, right now in this moment. Well, the reality is all 4 to 5 of those candidates have a phenomenal background. Technically, from a technical perspective, the company thinks that, hey, each one of these candidates could potentially have what we need to get the job done. So the question, my friend, is what's the difference? Who ends up getting the job? Do you know? Well, here it goes. The person who creates the best perception is the one who gets the job. And when it comes to creating the best perception, half of it is your skill that you bring to the table. The other half of it is your soft skills, okay? And how well do you answer questions? And how likable are you? And all the cultural aspects that you bring to the table during the interview process, okay? And so what you got to do is you have to improve your soft skills, because I'm telling you, the more that robotics and artificial intelligence continues to develop and continues to move in a positive, it is a positive direction, okay? But the more we start to develop and this technology becomes cheaper and more available to the smaller businesses, I'm telling you, listen, the competition right now is absolutely fierce. Okay, right now, as we speak, as you're listening to me on this video, the competition is absolutely fierce in the marketplace. Okay, but it's going to get 1,000,000 times more competitive in the very near future. Okay, with all this with all the stuff that I keep just finding out about that's taking place out in the marketplace, I'm telling you, things are about to get extremely competitive out here in this market. Okay, and so you want to be best positioned to be able to capitalize on some of the opportunities that will present themselves out there. And those are the 4 things that you need to do. Number 1, you need to look into the future. Number 2, you need to be brutally honest with yourself. Number 3, you need to skill up technically. And number 4, you need to improve your soft skills. You do those 4 things and you'll be properly positioned to be able to take advantage and capitalize on some of the new growth opportunities that will be coming down the pipe in the next 5, 10, 20 years. Okay? But don't forget, they're trying to replace you. All right? Listen, I hope you got great value from this video. If you have a telephone, video, or face-to-face interview that's coming up in the near future, I want to give you free access to my virtual training platform I created called Interview Prep University. It's 100% free, and I'm going to walk you step by step through the job interview process to help you avoid some of the major pitfalls that cause most candidates to fail miserably. All right, so I'm going to show you how to get past that. And again, this is 100% free. If you'd like to get immediate access to this, go to my website, www.interviewprepuniversity.com, or you could just click the link in the description area below. Listen, if you enjoyed this video and you like my content, do me a favor, support my book. Order it now. It's The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired, How to Land the Job of Your Dreams Regardless of the Competition. Listen, this book, what makes this book so different and so unique and so valuable is that I teach you strategies on a step-by-step basis that show you how to eliminate most of your competition. Okay? Show you how to differentiate yourself from everybody in the marketplace and give yourself a competitive advantage. All right? And so if you like to support and order a copy of this, you can go to my website, which is www.theuglytruthbook.com. And when you place an order, I'm going to mail out the physical copy to you, but I'm going to also give you immediate access to a downloadable copy of this book absolutely free, so you can immediately dive into it. It's a very quick read, and trust me, you're going to love this book. All right? Listen, thanks for checking out this video. Hopefully you found it to be of great value. If you did like this video, comment on this video, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. I'll be dropping extremely valuable content on a daily basis, and I don't want you to miss out on it. All right? Thanks for checking it out. I will see you in the next video. Take care.